Hello again, this is Great Work, a podcast and email helping people who do work we care about have better working lives and foster better teams. With me, Adam Sandel. A detour this time to share 6 books you may not know about and that could make a big difference to your tough working life. Some just published, some older, and no sponsorship. This is all from me. Simon Stolzoff, How Not to Know, The Value of Uncertainty in a World That Demands Answers. This one's published this week, but I got a review copy and read it for you. If you sometimes struggle with uncertainty or indecision, I'd really recommend it. Work-related indecision is so familiar. What kind of work do I want to do? Is this job right for me? Do I want to make this career move? Should I retrain? Why do I have these doubts about my work? What actually makes me happy and makes life meaningful? And that's not to mention the bigger dilemmas. Do I want to have children? Is my partner the right person for me? Where should we live? Simon Stolzoff tackles uncertainty through stories about grappling with doubts like these. His subjects aren't celebrities, thank goodness. They're real people with all the peculiarity of real people, whose stories he's woven into a thoughtful, wise book. And then, at the end, he draws out several lessons. I won't steal his thunder except to quote a sentence that stopped me in my tracks, and which is, in turn, a quote I didn't know from the psychologist Rollo May. Commitment is healthiest when it's not without doubt, but in spite of doubt. McGonigal, The Upside of Stress, Why Stress is Good for You and How to Get Good at It. Have you heard of mindset psychology? This is the fascinating idea that, for example, kids who are shown that they have the capacity to learn, growth mindset, do better academically than those who are left believing that they're stuck where they are. Or that people who have a positive view of aging age better and live years longer than those who dread getting old. Well, this book is about stress mindset, the counterintuitive idea that stress is often something good, something we should welcome, because it helps us perform better and learn more. And that lives with a certain amount of stress are better, more meaningful lives than stress-free ones. Is stress bad for you? Well, the answer to that question may be, it depends on your attitude towards stress. If you see stress as a negative, then yes, it'll be bad for you. If you recognize its benefits, it's often good. Don't believe me? Read this book. It's perspective shifting. Selina Barker, Burnt Out, the Exhausted Person's 6-Step Guide to Thriving in a Fast-Paced World. During the pandemic, there was a little glut of books on burnout, and for this great work project, I read most things that are published on burnout. I apply a fierce practicality test. Could this actually help real people? Really? This one stood out. Selina Barker's a British coach, and her book's about as practical as a book can be. It's full of colour, boxes, and exercises. I opened it with my bullshit sensors on full power, but the book is, in fact, full of intelligent, easily applicable advice that harmonizes with the research, and therefore with the advice I collect here and in the forthcoming Great Work book. If you're dealing with burnout right now, or know someone who is, and you're looking for an intelligent way through it that you could start applying tonight, I don't think there's a better guidebook out there. Bree Groff, Today Was Fun, a book about work, seriously. This quirky book is, as it should be, a load of fun. Bree Groff's a consultant from the world of business, but there's plenty here for great work readers who work in public and non-profit settings. Today Was Fun is an irreverent manifesto for work being joyful and a guide to how to get there. I love the section on really getting to know and enjoy your colleagues, and a passage on what Groff calls emotional reliability. It'll be most useful if you have some leadership responsibilities. If you do, it's a delightful book. Kathryn Page, Good Work, Transform Your Work from the Inside Out. This book's just published and achieves two unusual things. First, it successfully considers both us, people who work, and those who are trying to improve working lives in their teams and organizations. And secondly, it refreshingly doesn't assume that all work is done in commercial settings. Kathryn Page is an organizational psychologist. Her book's grounded in solid research, but it's also practical, readable, and short. And it gets an extra star for sneaking the word shite past academic publisher Wiley. If you have a bit of sway at work and want to think more about making work better for everyone, this might be the book to help you frame how to achieve that and how to improve your own working life at the same time. And finally, Joseph Jebelli, The Brain at Rest, How the Art and Science of Doing Nothing Can Improve Your Life. If you're regular here, you'll know that I can only write so many great work articles or record so many podcast episodes before being overtaken by the compulsion to recommend Alex Sujung Kim Pang's book, Rest, Why You Get More Done When You Work Less, a book that radically changed my life for the better. Do we need another book on rest? It turns out that we do. This gentle book by Joseph Jebelli, a neuroscientist who skillfully weaves research and personal narrative into a new and persuasive paean to rest, is a great book and one I'd really recommend. Interested in meeting me at a conference? Here are a couple of upcoming ones at which I'm going to be speaking. The BC Rural Health Conference is such a lovely conference for people providing healthcare in rural settings in Western Canada and even further afield. I'm giving the closing plenary. I'll be talking about small changes you can make to have a better working life. It's from the 29th to 31st of May. And the Workplace Mental Health Conference, run by the University of Michigan's Eisenberg Family Depression Center, is a half-day conference on workplace mental health. It's on the 5th of August and it's entirely online so you can join from anywhere. A really interesting lineup of speakers. The focus is on how organizations can better support employee well-being and success. I'm talking about emotional regulation at work. What can employers actually do? Links to both of these are in the episode notes and in the email version. That's it for this time. Thanks to Bren Russell for his skillful editing, and a big thanks to you for being part of this great work project. If you're listening on a podcast app or YouTube, you can also sign up for the emails at www.adamsandel.com. That's adamsandell.com. That way the podcasts land straight in your inbox with a version you can read if you prefer. And that's the link to share if you know anyone else who might be interested. If you have found something useful here, please do share it. You have no idea how much it helps with getting the Great Work book published. Thank you so much for listening.